Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, we're going to look at NBA Finals Game 3 picks for Draftkings, and then at the end, I'll touch on FanDuel as well. So I'm going to take the same approach as I did in my Game 2 video, where I kind of touch on each player, and then at the end, we'll look at some lineup builds. So before we get into it, if you could drop a like on the video and subscribe, I do appreciate that. So in this game, we already have some injury news that Durant's out. We just got that earlier today. Thompson's questionable, although I'm pretty confident that he's going to give it a go. Looney is out, which is a big deal because he was playing he got hurt last game, but in game 1 he played 28 minutes, and he was probably going to play 15-20 minutes if he was healthy last game. So those are the main injury news that we have. First guy I want to talk about is Kawhi Leonard. He's at 17-7. I think with this game shifting to Golden State, Kawhi is going to be one of the few players on Toronto that we can count on to really show up. The Raptors were much better. The role players were much better at home during this postseason so far. So I'm a little nervous about picking on many of the role players besides the stars and Kawhi Leonard and a few other pieces. But Leonard is going to be like a one-man wrecking crew. He took 20 shots. I was pretty confident that he's going to take more than 14 shots last game. And he had 16 free throw attempts. He was super aggressive, made all 16. I'm expecting another huge game out of him here. So it would be the one Raptor that I would really want. On the other side, Steph Curry is at 11-6 for the captain spot, or 17-4 for the captain spot. He's 11-4 for the util spot. He's been good. He's been shooting the ball not too well last game, but the first game he shot 4 of 9 from 3. He's just going to do his stuff. He hasn't been very effective with the assists or the rebounds in the first couple games, but they're going to come. He's playing over 40 minutes. And with this game shifting to Golden State, that's where Curry did most of his damage in Portland. At home, he was great, put up 58 and 60. Against Houston, he was pretty solid at home too. So that's where Curry, I think, is going to live off this home energy, and that's going to help him shoot a little better than he's been shooting from the floor. So I love him, and he can definitely step up his rebounds and assists. So I think he's going to be super aggressive here, especially if Thompson's a little limited or if he's not as effective. Then Curry's going to have a ton of shots to shoot. Durant's already out. We have Draymond Green at 10-6. I like him quite a bit. As I expected, he would bounce back in Game 2, put up 48. Was just 1 assist shy of a triple-double, so that would have put him well over 50 easily. And he's just going to be pretty aggressive without Durant. And he really stepped up his defense on Siakam, and he looked motivated out there. So he's another guy that I really would not mind at all. He definitely should be in your player pool. Is Draymond. Siakam is another guy that I would consider stepping up here. He's going to play over 40 minutes. 40 minutes out of Siakam is a pretty good bargain. He's down to 94, so his price tag came down a little bit. He shot 5 of 18, also had no blocks or steals, something that hasn't really happened to him this postseason. He's always been really good at the defensive categories, and he's been shooting the ball a little better than, that's his worst shooting game in a while, 5 of 18. I expect him to bounce back here and at least have a decent showing. So at 94, I have no problem playing him. Him and Kawhi are the two guys I love on Toronto. Thompson, if he's healthy, if he's good to go, I would not mind him. He was on fire game 2. He probably would have been in the winning lineup had he not got injured. Or he would have been he would have put up over 50 at least. His price tag did not move. It's still at 8,400. I like him a lot if he's healthy. Lowry, I think is fine. He was in foul trouble last game, so that kind of only led him to play 28 minutes. If he can stay away from foul trouble, I think he'll be fine, although I'm not super confident in him just because he has been up and down. And it looks like his thumb is kind of bothering him, and it might be getting worse as this postseason goes on because he's shooting terrible. 2 of 9 and 4 of 11. So he should be in your player pool, but I'm not going to have a ton of exposure to Kyle Lowry. DeMarcus Cousins, I love him. He started last game, played 28 minutes, put up 37 DraftKings points. His minutes and role are much more secure now that Looney is out. So with Looney out, Cousins should play over 30 minutes in this one. And you're getting him at a very cheap price tag, $7,200. And he was really bad shooting the basketball, just 3 of 8. And he can definitely score more than 11 points, especially with Durant out. So Cousins is the guy I love. Marc Gasol, he's going to play minutes, although he's so up and down. With this game going on the road. On the road in Milwaukee, he put up 13, 11, 33. Against the Sixers, he put up 22, 26, 25. I'm not really confident in him here, even though this game is on the road. But the fact that he's at 6,600 will at least have some interest in him. But he hasn't been playing a ton of minutes, 30 and 31. They're really giving a lot of minutes to Siakam, like he's played over 40. So I like Gasol, don't love him. Van Fleet kind of had a ceiling game. He played 38 minutes, played a lot more minutes because Kyle Lowry was in foul trouble. Played 38 minutes and had 3 steals, something he hasn't done at all this postseason. So I'm not expecting him to shoot 17 times. I'm not expecting him to play 38 minutes. I think it's an easy fade for Van Fleet. I like Iguodala a lot again. He's at 5,600. His minutes should go up a little bit. He'll probably play like 30 minutes with his calf. He was really good in Game 2. Had the dagger 3 to win it, or to seal it. And he was just an all-around good player. He's been an all-around force with points, rebounds, and assists the first 2 games. Like, he's really filling up the box score. He's a good defensive player as well. And they're needing him on the court to defend Kawhi. So I like Iguodala. And Serge Ibaka, it's 4,000. We'll definitely have some interest in him. He could have like a GPP winning score, but he's not going to be counted on to play heavy minutes unless they're dealing with foul trouble in Gasol. Danny Green at 3,600. I'm going to have a lot of interest in him. Like, he went from 5,000 to 3,600. That's a great price decrease, and that's a great chance to jump on him. He's still playing a lot of minutes. He's another guy that didn't have any steals or blocks in last game, and he's had at least one of those in every game this postseason, except for one. Yeah, so you should definitely get a couple steals and blocks. I don't think he's going to get 3 turnovers again. And he's going to be playing like 26 to 30-plus minutes, depending on how well he's playing. He might even close because he's a really good defender, and they're going to need him to defend all the shooters on Golden State. So I love Danny Green at 36. And now we kind of get into some of the scrubs. Like, well, Quinn Cook is decent. I'm not going to have exposure to him. He might be popular because he put up 14 DraftKings points, but now his price tag also rose by $1,400. That's a fade for me. I'd rather have a little more interest in Livingston, who should get more minutes than Cook and has a little bit more consistent role on the team. I don't mind playing him. He's cheaper than Cook as well. Powell is down to $2,400. Should be in your player pool. Like, he can play 5 to like 25 minutes. So it's kind of hard to project him, but he can have a big game. And if he's shooting the ball well, he's going to be on the court. And if someone like Danny Green is struggling, then Powell's going to get some more minutes. And same thing with Van Fleet. If he's struggling, Powell's going to absorb all those minutes. Bogut is probably going to be a little popular at $2,200. I'm not really sold on him. He's probably going to get a few minutes. He might put up like 10 DraftKings points. If you're happy with that, you can play him. But I'm not going to be too fond of Bogut unless I am in like serious need of value. If we get the word that Anunoby's going to play, I have some interest in him at just $1,800. But Nick Nurse was very nice in telling us that he was not going to play Game 2. So we'll see if they're going to give him some minutes here in Game 3. If he's going to play, that's going to take some minutes away from Powell probably, and definitely take minutes away from I forget what his name is, but the other guy that's getting minutes on Toronto, Patrick McCaw. That's it. So yeah, those are the plays that I want to touch on. So now we'll get into some of the builds. At captain, if you go Curry at captain, I'm expecting him to have a big game in front of the home crowd. We'll look at having Curry at captain. Definitely want to get Kawhi. He's going to be the reason that Toronto can keep this game close. If we go Kawhi and Siakam, that's really tough to fit in. So let's see. We'll go Cousins. I think either one of Siakam or Kawhi is going to have a huge game, but I don't think if both do. But it's going to be tough to fit both in on DraftKings if you're paying up at captain. If you go cheap at captain, it's a different story. But with Curry, I'd rather try to take on a few more of the Golden State players like Iguodala, Cousins, Kawhi. You still have $4,000 left. So here I wouldn't mind going with like Danny Green at 3,600 and with 4,400. Taking a flyer on Serge Ibaka and hoping that he has like an outlier game. So I don't mind doing something like this. And next, if we go cheap at captain with like Cousins, I'll probably have a little more interest in Cousins at captain because he opens up a little more flexibility. We go Cousins, Curry, and Draymond. 3 studs on that team. We also can play Iguodala at 56. We can play, if we play Siakam, that's at $2,000. We could take a chance on like on Anunoby if he's going to play some minutes, or maybe Jordan Bell. We should get some more minutes with Looney out. Let's see. Instead of Siakam, we can go down to if we play Danny Green, that leaves us with 78 left. Could take a chance on Kyle Lowry if you think he's going to have a good game. I don't mind something like this. It's going to be kind of tough to fit in. This will be a really interesting approach if you play like all the Golden State starters. If you think it's going to be a blowout. I'm not super fond of that strategy. But here, if you play Cousins at captain, you're kind of left with this. See, instead of Draymond, if you want to take a chance on Siakam, and then we could play. See if you play Thompson, and then 4,200 left. We could play Danny Green. So I don't mind doing something like this. It's gonna be tough to get up to Kawhi, who's at 11-8 in this lineup, unless you go instead of Iguodala. If you want to go cheaper there, and you could take a chance on like Livingston, who should still get some minutes. And then we can go up from Thompson up to Siakam. And then we can go back from Livingston up to Ibaka. So something like this, I don't mind at all. And last but not least, I'll take a chance on see if we do Draymond at captain. At 15-9, like if he gets the triple-double, that's a huge bonus, especially on Draftkings, and you're having him at the captain spot. Draymond, Iguodala, Kawhi, Cousins, and see, go Danny Green, 5,900 left. Kind of want to get Curry in here. Do get Curry in there. Instead of Kawhi, you could fade him for Siakam. And then it's gonna be not gonna be able to play Iguodala. You're gonna have to play like Bogut or something or somebody like that. Or if you don't want to play Danny Green, we can play Livingston. Then we could play Siakam. And then at 3,100, take a chance on like Norman Powell and hope that he gets minutes. Right? And I'll take a look at one more. This will be with Iguodala at captain, just so we can open up some more roster flexibility at 8,400 at the captain spot. I like him a ton. I like Cousins. I like Curry. Draymond. And then you go Siakam. And then you go Livingston. You get all your Golden State exposure. You get all the studs, except for Clay. And then you get Siakam to hopefully have a big game and keep this game close for the Toronto. So that's something I don't mind. And then on FanDuel, take a quick look at it. It's kind of, I already talked about FanDuel, how the structure is. But if we go Curry at captain, I have him projected for the most points here, the game being at home. I love Draymond on FanDuel at 13,000. If I want to fade Kawhi for Siakam here, and then I can go with like Cousins, and at 8,500, take a chance on Van Fleet. I like this approach. And if you want to get extra sneaky, you could play Cousins. You could flip-flop Cousins and Siakam, and because that's gonna be a less owned lineup. Even though you are filling out all the money on the table, you could leave some left, like play Danny Green instead of Van Fleet. But if you're looking to cash, I'll do something like this on FanDuel. But that's it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You can leave your takes in the comments below. I would love to see what you guys have to say. Thanks for watching, and good luck.